Yeah, baby. Fisk time. That's right, good fixins. So what's going on, guys? Thank you very much for joining us for a special Monday afternoon Slant Alpha Adventures episode where we are flying into Oshkosh. The EAA AirVenture may have been canceled for this year, but on VATSIM, man, it's still on and going to be lively, I'm sure. It starts, the event hosted by the Chicago ARTCC actually starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, another hour from now. However, I figure we'll do, a few minutes of pre-flight and prep. And we'll go over the plan for the routes and things like that. And then it's probably another hour and 15-minute flight down the road. So by the time we get there, they should be in full swing over there. Looking on VATSpy as of right now, we don't seem to have any air traffic control on in the area. We're departing from St. Paul downtown, Holman Field here, just outside of Minneapolis, or just on the river coast. And by the way, I did intentionally choose an opening shot, which included the nice big cargo ships right there. I flew into this airport on a night that I was not streaming. I forget what I was testing, but I was flying on a night that I wasn't streaming. This was months ago, and I'd never flown into this airport. And flew in, I forget which runway it was, that comes in kind of right over the container ships, and it was really cool, and I was like, damn, I wish I was streaming this now. Anyway, so this, I think, will be our first visit to this airport on stream, and we'll have to come back and fly back into it at some point so we can show you that. But anyway, so we're departing from St. Paul downtown, and I'll show you on the VFR chart a little bit better. It's just us right there at the moment, and there's some folks that are starting to, we got a couple that have departed from Oshkosh, and we've got a handful that are making their way in. But again, the official event time isn't until 2100 Zulu time, which is another just under an hour from now. So that's going to be gearing up, I'm sure, and I wanted to kind of make sure we were among the first ones in, just in case it started to get hectic. My guess, the stated reason for the Chicago ARTCC hosting this event on a Monday afternoon, rather than the traditional weekend afternoon time or in the evening, was that they wanted to do it at a time that was still daylight, so that those who simulate real-world daylight conditions could do this arrival in daylight as it's done for real. However, I'm not sure why it wouldn't have been on a Saturday or a Sunday then instead. But yeah, my guess is that they're doing this on a Monday earlier afternoon to kind of limit participation to those who are really, really serious about it. To keep the workload reasonable, because as everyone has known on VATSIM for months now, with the global health situation and many more of us at home with more free time and less traveling, the numbers of participation on VATSIM events has been very, very high, unmanageably high in many cases. So I think that was one reason that they did it, and two, to kind of limit it to the folks that were more serious about wanting to do this as a VATVenture event, and not as just a random fly into Oshkosh where they wouldn't be familiar with the procedures, or they would be trying to be landing big jets there, or whatever. We do have a scenery add-on package at Oshkosh, by the way, as well. That is done by our friend of the stream, LPNils. That is available on the xplane.org store, or forum, I should say. It's a freeware add-on. So if you just Google X-Plane, X-Plane, and KOSH, you should see that package. It's version 2.7 of the Oshkosh Whitman Regional Airport AirVenture edition. That's our friend Southwest 8080 is flying. But yeah, so do see, like I said, I'm surprised to not see but a couple of planned arrivals here. So hopefully the workload will be reasonable. Although for the fun thing about Oshkosh sometimes is the hecticness of it. Steve PHL is here. So the Baron's fun on the Fisk, especially on those tight turns to 2.7. Yeah, I don't know what the actually let's go ahead and pull up a METAR just to see. 2988 on the altimeter, 10 statute miles, 290, 12 gusting to 19. So that's fun. That's definitely favoring a 2.7 arrival. So Hopefully that's what we'll get. That will be a fun one. I will show you. I'll show you the briefing package as well. Just for the overview of the entire route, I'm going to do this VFR. The weather is seems to be mostly cooperative. We have a little bit of storm activity up here, way to the northeast. Just a couple of little miscellaneous returns around here, but nothing too catastrophic looking as far as weather goes, other than that wind. If you hover over the green dots here, we've got, again, 290, 11 gusting to 20. So we've got gusty westerly winds even at our origin here, so that's going to be fun. But a few 10 statute miles visibility, a few clouds at 7,500. Some winds, again, 10 statute miles scattered at 65. 10 statute miles scattered at 65. Just just throughout the region, we'll just kind of look. 10 statute miles and clear. 10 statute miles and clear. 10 statute miles broken at 6,000. It looks like. So we've got some cloud. Filed 5,500 as our VFR altitude. Hopefully that'll put us below the cloud layer. But you can see that the weather looks like it's going to be fairly cooperative. For the route, my plan, again, doing this VFR. Ooh boy, 27, here we come, Good Fixin' says. Yeah, hopefully so, because that does look like the more challenging arrival. So we will see. I'll go over that Fisk Arrival in just a minute here. So the plan is we're on St. Paul downtown, which is right there parked on the Mississippi River. We're going to follow the river down for about 100 miles. Down here past Red Wing, Lake City, what is that called? Wabasha, Alma, all the way down here, Winona, and then we get to this point where we're right abeam La Crosse, Wisconsin. And at that point, we're going to turn east. We're going to follow, and I love the name of this this radio beacon here, objectionable. We turn east and follow I-90, and then I think it becomes I-94. I think I-90 and I-94 split here. Yeah, so once we get east, we've got some restricted airspace. We'll need to stay south. We'll use this McCoy NDB to make sure that we're staying south of this restricted airspace here, right by Young Army Airfield. But pick up I-90, then I-94 south and east. We'll follow I-94 down here to, let's see the town name there, but Wisconsin Dells, and then we get to this town called Portage, Wisconsin. At Portage, we will break off. We will fly northeast 15 miles, and hopefully very soon after we depart Portage, we should be able to see these lakes up here. We've got three pretty sizable lakes that are part of the visual landmarks for the beginning of the Fisk Arrival. We've got Puckaway Lake, which leads then into Green Lake. Green Lake is the big lake that you will hold over if you need to. And then just north and east of Green Lake is the town of Ripon, which is the beginning of the arrival proper. At that point, you're heading north and east along these railroad tracks that you see depicted here toward the town of Fisk. And Fisk is the little town by which they will give you your transition instructions as to whether you're then flying, continuing up the railroad tracks, or you're going east on Fisk Avenue to the airport. The NOTAM is here. It's 28 pages. Really, the key information starts on page 5 as it's marked, page 6 of the PDF. I did post this link, by the way, on the Facebook page, the Twitter page, and in our Discord server. So these are some just VFR routes from area regions in which you could avoid the Milwaukee area, avoid Madison, so that you're not congesting up those busier airspaces. Again, some of the this document's based largely on real world procedures. Obviously, those airspaces aren't that busy on VATSIM most of the time. But the Fisk Arrival, really, information starts here. Plan enough fuel, first of all. Once you approach Ripon, ensure your lights are on, which we always tend to leave our lights on. Transponder on, which of course we always do. We'll obtain the arrival ATIS no later than 15 miles from Ripon. So essentially, basically, once we turn up from Portage, we will start looking for that ATIS. Monitor Fisk Approach 120.7. Approach Ripon 90 knots, 1,800 feet. If you can't fly 90 knots, then 135 and 2,300 would be your alternative. In the Barren, I think we can do 90. We'll drop the gear and some flaps, and we'll do 90. Don't call Fisk Approach unless you have questions. They will call you. If the holding is not in progress, holding would be over Green Lake, as I kind of pointed out on that VFR chart. Proceed single file, nose to tail, directly over the tracks from Ripon to Fisk. Remain at least half mile and trail behind any aircraft. Don't overtake. Don't estern to follow. Instead, if you start overtaking somebody, break off, return to Ripon, circle the lake again, and find another aircraft of similar speed to follow. We can reference Ripon and Fisk if we're using GPS, which we will not be, but follow the tracks, not the magenta line. 4 miles from Fisk, you'll see steam from the grain drying facility. We do have Ortho 4XP. We do have these custom scenery package. Hopefully, all these visual landmarks will be included. Hopefully, we did file a VFR flight plan, and once you're on VATSIM, when you're told to rock your wings, just hit IDENT. Only do this when you're told to rock your wings, because as we've mentioned while talking about VATSIM versus POSCON, on VATSIM, position updates only come once every 5 seconds. So any change in attitude or direction that takes less than 5 seconds won't be seen by anybody else on the network. So that's why on VATSIM we've got to use the IDENT key as our substitute for the wing rock. The transition, if you're given the railroad tracks, you continue up, and then you go east prior to the gravel pit. Do they have that here? Yeah, here we go. Fisk Arrival, Oshkosh, runway 27. From Fisk, north and east along the railroad tracks. You go east along the gravel pit and these little parallel roads, and then you turn in pretty much a beam, or you'll be given a turn-in instruction by the tower controller, and you'll be told which dot to land on. This is a really interesting part. The scenery that LPNils has done for this airport does have these dots depicted as well. So he's made the scenery package specifically for this event, or not necessarily the VATSIM event, but it's specifically centered around the Oshkosh AirVenture event. And they'll tell you which one to turn in on and which one to land on. So hopefully our control will be precise, and we will be able to do this. The arrival to runway 9 is more of a straight in. Seems like we're going to get 27. The other thing they can do is give you 18 or 36 left or right. Looks like 18 right or 36 left. Normally, I think 36 right is typically a departure runway. But anyway, so yeah. A lot of information here, but if you read through it, the key portions are the arrival, the Fisk Arrival, 1890 knots, making sure you have the appropriate approach frequency dialed in, and just be ready to listen for instructions. We did also in our flight plan on VATSIM, because you don't necessarily see the color that your aircraft is. So we're supposed to include it in our remarks, which we have done so here. So when they call you out on Fisk Approach, again, they may see us as a Baron in a different livery. So in order to make sure they're calling out the correct one, we've just put the colors that we are, or the colors that we're going to listen out for. That's what we're going to do. So they could be landing multiple planes on the same runway with the dots. I don't know that it's necessarily the same runway at the same time, good fixins, but certainly you might still have somebody further up the runway that's just touched down and turning off, that they would then have another landing, arriving, getting ready to arrive. And I know same runway separation for departures is something like 6,000 feet for smaller aircraft. So or maybe even 3,000 feet. I don't remember. Yeah, you think I would know the rules since I am a VATSIM tower controller. They had some Cessnas landing on the taxiway on Pilot Edge, says DB Vetter. Yeah, so I know that the Pilot Edge one was pretty hectic and had a good amount of traffic. I was watching one of our friends from another Discord server and another stream is called Below Minimums. I find him mostly over on Agent Bravo 7's Discord server, and he did a video of his flight on the Pilot Edge from a couple days ago, and so we watched that back on Twitch, and he did a really nice job and was kind of explaining as he went what happened, and it sounded like there was a lot of traffic circling over Green Lake as they were starting to pull aircraft up into the arrival. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more than what we've got going on right now. Again, it's just starting to heat up. Yeah, every time I hover over it, there's one or two more, so it's just starting to heat up. Let's, having gone over all that, let's go ahead and get this thing underway. The original departure plan is to come out of here and join the river. So what's that mean for us? We're going to be taking off kind of westbound. What do we got here runway wise? We've got a runway 27 here, and that's going to be the one that's mostly into the wind. So I think that's what we'll take. And then if we go a left crosswind, probably a left downwind departure, and then we should run into the river and head south. So maybe even a left crosswind departure, and then southbound we'll just kind of veer off to the left and pick up the river. So that's the plan. I think, I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. Well, I think we're south of the control tower. So if the control tower is here, I think we're probably down here somewhere. Maybe even down here. Of course, that means a long taxi out to 27, all the way down Alpha, and then up Hotel. But with the wind as high and heavy as it is, I think that's what we'll want to stick with. Let's rebrief that over VATSIM just to see. We'll do a METAR here. We still have no controllers on nearby. KSTP. 290 at 11 gusting to 20. So we've got a runway 31. That might even be better. But we still get that long taxi all the way out to 31. So that'll be the plan. We'll depart 31. Left. We got 3-1 and 3-2. Really not that far off. So maybe we'll just depart 3-2, left downwind, and go that way. We got Kenny here. Dodge the Bravo says good fixings. Yeah, that's true. We got the Minneapolis class Bravo to contend with. I guess I better. Let's get the TAC chart up here. So that's got to be the surface Bravo there. So maybe a right downwind departure just to make sure we stay out of that surface Bravo area, and then we'll stay at or below 2,300 until we are over this town of Hastings, kind of east of this split here in this this larger island. Once we get east of that island, we'll know that we're able to climb up to see if we can go up to 3,000 there once we're outside of this ring. 8.5 mile an hour ring from the Minneapolis localizers. But visually we can spot this island and go, okay, once we're east of that, we're good to go. We can climb up to our cruise at 5,500. So right downwind departure, and then we'll basically just follow the river. Alright, that'll be the plan. DB said, always heard about Oshkosh as a kid since the 80s. My uncle used to fly his VTAL Bonanza there in the 70s and 80s. Steve says it was great in the 80s with Bob Hoover and Chuck Yeager there. Nice. Yep, and so yeah, hi Kenny, hi anybody else that I didn't say hi to? No, I think we got everybody. Alright, let's get this thing underway. It's 24 after. I was hoping to be airborne by about 4:30, so now we've got to kind of hustle. Let's get the checklist in front of me, if you haven't run long enough. Let's go ahead and get the maintenance report. I've already kind of checked, but we'll blow through that real quick. SimCoder's Reality Expansion Pack for the Coronado Beach Baron here. So we'll show the maintenance report. Everything looks good with cylinder compressions. No need to refill oil at this point. Everything looks good with the filters. And other engine issues looks good. Page 2, same as page 1 pretty much, except for the other engine. Page 3, we can swap out for tuned injectors if we choose to, but there's no maintenance or upkeep to do there. No need to preheat. We got 82 degrees ambient temps Fahrenheit on the cylinder heads. Almost a full charge on the battery. Everything's good with the avionics. Everything's good with the gauges. Tires, brakes, and suspension all look good, and that's just a summary of what we've earned and spent, so we can close that. We can go back then to our weight and balance page, we do need to put some fuel in this thing. We want to have 34 gallons in each tank to start with, according to my flight time and fuel estimates, and that does account for some reserves, contingencies, and such. So that'll afford us some extra. And then we'll start the walk around. So the third time we go into the SimCoder's menu. We can I do kind of blow past anything that does not have a button action involved, but these are checklist items that would be on the actual Beech Baron pre-flight checklist. But you want to make sure your control surfaces move, that your flaps are stable and secure, that you do have the amount of fuel in the tanks that you ordered by checking the dipstick, and making sure that there's no contamination. We're almost down to 11 quarts, so we'll definitely want to refill that after this flight, I think. Tires look good. We'll remove the chocks and the engine cover, pitot cover, engine covers, and all the tie downs, and we are golden. Yep, I'll check the last aileron. Whoops, next I said, and flat. Okay, of course you guys have been piling in. You see the doors are wide open as you guys have been piling in and taking your seats. Brave to fly the Baron at 1890 knots. It gets a tad mushy. Well, if we feel unsafe, we can use the higher speed. We can go up to the 2300 and 135. But 90 knots should be fine. I mean, we do our final approach at 85 usually, so 90 knots should be okay. But yeah, I'm with you. I considered going ahead and using the higher one as well, the 135 and 2300. So we've got that as an alternate. All right, parking brake is set. All switches are down. Gear handles down. The cow flaps can go open. Oops, do I not have that? Oh, wrong switch. Cow flaps are open. And we'll get the battery switch on. Beacon, nav, and panel lights can come on. Gear green lights should be lit, and fuel quantity gauges should show what we've put in it, which 34 is, yeah, about a third of a tank there, so that's good. All right, let's get the doors shut. Close the baggage doors. And the passenger and the main door get closed over there. All right, everybody's buckled in. Good deal. Let's go ahead and get our fuel selectors. Our fuel selectors are already on. And we'll mix the mix and props full forward. Put the throttle up on the fuel pump for just a few seconds. Down to about half the handle width. Clear the prop area. Magnetos engaged. And starter. Here we go. We got engine number 2 fired up. As soon as it stabilizes, we'll go ahead and get the alternator on, and then we'll repeat the process on the number 1. Notice that when I say stable, we do have oil pressure. Should come up right away. It's on top of the green range because the oil's thick while it sits here on the ramp, but it'll thin out once it cools. So we'll repeat the, I'm sorry, once it warms up rather. Repeat the process on the number 1 side. Run the fuel pump for a few. Clear the prop area. All right. Engine does indeed fire. Fuel pressure comes up right away. All right, we'll move the physical throttles up there to about 1,000. Let that warm up. And there we go. All right, now the altimeter we got from X-Pilot said what now? A 299.6. So we'll go ahead and get that dialed in here. 299.6 is about there. Field elevation at St. Paul is 705. Okay, so 299.6 might be 1 more notch up, 2 more notches up. Sure, it's close. I mean, the airport's not completely level on the entire property. Tango 99 Tango. This is the Coronado Beech Baron. So a little bit prettier than the default one, and it does have the reality expansion pack with it as well. Okay, we can get the avionics on as well. I didn't do that already. Put that into altitude mode, and 1200 is our squawk because we're VFR, and there's nobody here to issue us a squawk for flight following. So avionics on, marker beacon sounds can come off. And we'll check our trim, make sure that it's neutral and that it works, and it seems to work fine. Okay, good. Flight plan's been set, progress bar's been updated, MEDAR was checked, altimeter was checked, field elevation verified. Comm radios are just going to be on 22.8. So we'll go ahead and get that dialed in until we get a controller. Whoops, passed it. There we are. Swap that up. Alright, no clearance to obtain. We're VFR anyway. Altitude mode on the transponder set. Squawk is still going to be 1200. Nav and ADF tuner is not applicable. Heading bug will set. We're going to depart. What do we say? 30. 32. Runway heading is 326. So that's there, and that'll just help us make a nice square turn to crosswind and then downwind. Initial altitude, yeah, we're going to go 5,500. But remember, we're not climbing up to that. Let's see, what do we say on the Bravo shelf? 2,300. So we're going to initially level off at 2,000, and then we'll go up to 5,500 once we're sure we're clear of the Bravo. So 2,000, just as a reminder, we're going to hand fly that portion of it, I'm sure. We do want to check our flaps, make sure that they go into approach mode, and then go into fully deployed mode. And we know the in-transit light does not work in this plane, but we can see that they return to fully retracted. We don't need flaps for takeoff. It's not short field. Temps and pressures should all pretty much be looking good at this point. And I think we're good to go. We'll lean the mix out until the RPM drops, just to make sure we're not fouling our plug tips while we're sitting on the ramp here waiting. And that should do it. Alright, let's get the taxi light on. Let's get rolling here, guys. Taxi light is that one. Over our right shoulder. Fordman says, glad to see you streaming this. I wanted to try, but not going to have time. Well, they're doing it again tomorrow. So, and I think that tomorrow they're doing it an hour later. So that might afford you another opportunity. If not, then hopefully my stream will give you something to remember it by. Something positive to remember it by. We'll see. All right, what do I want to do here? Bravo. Okay, right on Bravo. Whoops, right would be the other way. St. Paul traffic. Baron 514 Delta Victor's taxiing out 32 for a VFR southeast bound departure. We're on Bravo going to Alpha, then Alpha 4 St. Paul. Melvin Leroy is here hosting us. Thank you very much for that. We're a few minutes past our intended departure time, but that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, that'll allow the controllers to get staffed up and ready for our arrival. Still no air traffic control. Let's do a refresh on the VATSPY. Yeah, I mean, they said the event started at 5 Eastern, 2100 Zulu, so it's not surprising they're not on yet. But hopefully that does indeed change. We'll get a real nice view of the container ships on our departure here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Kind of looks like that dead ends up ahead, doesn't it? Am I going too far here?
St. Paul traffic, red white diamond, taxi and runway 32 via Echo. We crossing runway 27.
That sounds like Melvin Leroy. Yeah, I don't know how I got crossed up in the so what is this? This is Alpha 2.
St. Paul traffic, diamond 11816, crossing runway 31 on Echo.
Alright. Alright, so looks like maybe that taxiway, if I'd stayed on it, would have continued on down, but maybe it'll merge in down here. St. Paul traffic, Baron 514 Delta Victor. I'm in the taxi plan now. We're on Alpha from Alpha 2 going to 32, St. Paul. All plans are subject to change. Yeah, this scenery may not 100% line up with what's on the diagram here, but that's okay. Comment on VATSIM. All right. Down here to the hold short line for 3-2, so before we cross it, we'll do our run up. That'll give Melvin Leroy one more chance to make a position report. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready to depart before I am or not. Is that him out there? Showing up as a British Airways A320.
Diamond 11816, so we're going to hold short and let the Baron depart prior to us. We're going to be a little slower de-route.
Give him a couple clicks on that. Let's see, we'll go ahead and do our run up here. Mix full and run it up to 22 on the manifold pressure. Flex prop levers down to 15 and back 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Run it to 17 then for the magneto check. The right side down 1 set. You'll see they'll go slightly out of sync, but nothing catastrophic there. The RPMs can drop up to about 100, 150 and it'd still be okay. They're back in sync now, although the magneto's engaged. Left side down 1. Left side down 2. And back. Alright, idle it. Check prop feathering. Works. Back to 1,000. We are ready. St. Paul traffic, Baron 514 Delta Victor departing runway 32. We're going to do a right downwind departure, departing VFR to the southeast, St. Paul. Landing lights on, taxi light off, strobe light on, pitot heat on.
St. Paul traffic, Diamond 816 will be following the Baron. Also VFR to the southeast right traffic pattern.
Yeah, still have a CSL issue where the Diamond shows up as an A321 or whatever that is. Annoying. Oh well. We'll continue to work on that for you. Temps and pressures all looking in the green range. Engines are responding normally and symmetrically. Takeoff power is now set. Airspeed is alive. 85. Let's go flying. Gear coming up. Oh, you can see we're getting pushed off to the left side by that wind already. Wow. Alright, we'll pitch for 110. 25 and 25. Flaps up if we used them. We did not. St. Paul traffic, Baron 514 Delta Victor, clear of 32, turning a right crosswind, St. Paul. Yeah, we're fighting these gusts, man. This is awful.
St. Paul traffic, Diamond 816, lining up runway 32.
Okay, remember 2,000 feet until we get down past that landmark. We're just gonna kind of keep it turning into the right downwind. I think we're already over the river. Fortunately, we're not yet through the woods.
St. Paul traffic, Diamond 11816, departing runway 32, right hand departure.
Alright, so we are there. There's our river. We'll level it off. We'll pull it out down to about 22 and 22 as our intermediate power. St. Paul traffic, Baron 514 Delta Victors, level now 2,000, join the river to the southeast, departing the area to the southeast, last call, St. Paul. I think actually we're following the railroad tracks. The river's over there.
St. Paul traffic, Diamond 816 on the right, crosswind departure, St. Paul.
So, Tango.
St. Paul, you got a serious Taxiway 32 Alpha.
Tango 99 Tango, yeah, so the reality expansion pack for me makes the entire difference. Air 4 Labs 172 is pretty good from what I gather, but if you wanted a nice, well-modeled twin that runs realistically, then the combination of the Coronado Baron plus the reality expansion pack kind of gets a little pricey when you think of them both as one purchase, but yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. Of course, I flew the Laminar Research default Beach Baron with the reality expansion pack for a long time. My recent computer upgrade has now allowed me to stream and fly with the Coronado one. Man, we're still getting rocked here. So it looks like up ahead we got that bend in the river that heads down to the east, and that fairly sizable island there. So once we get to that point and we make that eastbound turn, I think then we'll go ahead and climb up to 5,500. But man, we're going to be fighting these wind gusts all day. This is going to be quite a flight, guys, quite a flight. Down to about 22 on the one thing I have not done yet is to lean the engine out. We can slip in
St. Paul
altitude
traffic,
off.
Diamond 816. We are on the railroad tracks heading to the southeast, clearing the area, St. Paul.
We can lean it out until the EGT peaks. Just got to make sure we put some mix back in when we increase the power for our climb. We're leveled off intermediately at 2,000 for right now. Yeah, so here's that fairly sizable island, and then the point where the river turns out to the east. We'll keep over top of that. Seatbelt buckled, back braces on. I'm ready, says Kenny. Yeah. I've been meaning to do some pattern practice in this Baron. It does handle a little differently than the Laminar one, even with the REP. You would think that they would be fairly comparable, but I feel like the speed and the lift drops off a little bit more dramatically.
Series departing 32 Alpha 3, you're going to make a right downwind departure, St. Paul.
The lift and the airspeed drops off a little more dramatically in this plane down near approach speeds, so I don't have the flare timing and flare power quite worked out yet. So the landings in this thing have been a little rough, but Kenny well knows that, and he's ready. Alright, we're making our turn now. Ooh, we're not completely out of this Bravo. I just noticed that east of that island, we still got one more shelf to go. It goes up to 4,000, or it starts at 4,000. Man, I'm glad I saw that. Not that there's anybody right now online to call us out on this bus, but look, we got a whole nother shelf here. So I guess we can go up to 3,500, but no higher. Yeah, good fixins until you get the Red Wing, he says. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yep. Glad I spotted that. I was not paying complete attention. So let's say 3,500, and I think we will, once we get leveled there, I think we will let auto have it, because I'm going to get exhausted hand flying with this these gusts. And at some point I've got to, oops, I did say I needed to put some mix back in when I went to climb power.
Traffic series right cross.
Set the heading bug around here to about a 110, 120. We're ready to let auto take it so that we can start focusing on our navigation plan. Hand flying is always fun, but it's always a handful. And with this flight, I think we've got enough to worry about with navigation. Even though it's VFR, you know, we still want to make sure we don't miss our turn here. Make a wrong turn at Albuquerque, as Bugs Bunny would say.
St. Paul traffic, users come through 2000, carry downwind departure down the river. St. Paul, last call.
Okay, so get ready to level it out at 3,500, and then we'll need to, so this is the Wisconsin River, I believe, coming in from the left-hand side, so we can kind of see where we are. We're right there by the town of Prescott, or the St. Croix River, I'm sorry. St. Croix River right there in Prescott. Oh, Tango 99 Tango got me on that. Hella good restaurant in Prescott if you ever visit. I don't get out that way much, man. I've got cousins that live in Mankato. So I've been out there for a couple of weddings. But unfortunately, I don't make a habit of it. Connected through MSP a couple times. But unfortunately, don't make a habit of it. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing fought into a stable level flight as best as we can. We'll go ahead and pull power back to cruise, maybe 23 and 23. 2300 on the RPMs, 23 on the manifold pressure. And still kind of following that river. And still kind of struggling with the altitude. Looks like at this point we're about a 130 heading to follow the river, so we'll get that preset, and then as soon as we get it leveled off, we'll hand the controls over to First Officer Autopilot here. It's one other very important checklist item that I need to get to, and I don't have a hand free to do it with yet. Wouldn't it be freaky if your relatives in Mankato are my relatives too, and we find out we're just distant cousins? That would be freaky, Kenny. I think we've discussed my cousin out there before. I think he ran for a public legislature seat, so you have been told his name, and I don't think it was familiar to you. One of the very early conversations after we started talking. Alright, let's let auto have this, shall we? Let's go, oh, that's the transponder. To autopilot, heading mode, and altitude. Alright, down the river we go, guys. We can, now that we're leveled off again, we'll go ahead and re-lean the mix. But again, once we get past the last Bravo shelf, we'll head up to 5,500. We need to put that mix back in. So Reality Expansion Pack Tango, they have add-on packages for several planes. They've focused on Coronado at first, I think, and they have they've released some packages for a couple other planes now. Also a few of the X-plane default planes as well. Do I have any ortho? Yeah, I've got Wildman110 asks, do you have any ortho? Wildman110, welcome to the stream, first of all. I don't think I've seen you here before. But secondly, I do have Ortho 4XP installed throughout this entire region, so we should be seeing some nice photorealistic scenery the entire way down. Oh, Good Fixins did message me about the 4000 shelf. Yeah, I didn't see your message, Good Fixins. I happened to happened to see it right there as I was making the turn around the bend, and I was zoomed out, and I was like, holy cow, there's a whole other shelf there. So there's Prescott. We've passed, and kind of when we get to a point where we're making another bend left in the river, let's get back to the VFR. And we'll see this Red Wing Regional Airport on the north bank, and the town of Red Wing on the south bank, and that'll be kind of our clue. This is kind of a left bend in the river here. Makes me think, up there we are. Okay, well, so there we be, gentlemen. As soon as we, well, a little bit before we pass by, but once we pass by for certain, we know we're outside of that 4,000 foot shelf and can head on up to 5,500. So we'll give it a couple another 100 feet here, and then we'll start our climb. Cleared Approach is here. What's going on? We're heading to Oshkosh, bagosh. Good Fixins is asking about the one checklist item I haven't gotten to, and of course he's correct. I'm not lucky enough to be related to you, says Kitty Monster. Yeah, very early on. It's been a while. I mean, you've been part of the community for a good while now, Kenny. But yeah, I have a cousin who ran for a legislative seat in the town of North Mankato, and I DM'd you on Discord, I guess, to ask you if or to mention it or mention the connection. Can you show the whole route? Nah, Tango 99. Yeah, wind the stream back. You'll the whole first hour, half hour. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man. We're going 100 miles down the Mississippi. We're going to La Crosse. From La Crosse, we're going to pick up I-94, I-90, then I-94. I-90 out to here, and then 94 down past Volk, and down here to Portage. Once we hit Portage, 15 miles north and east of Portage, actually exactly a 045. From Portage is the corner of Puckaway Lake, and then from Green Lake we're on our Fisk Arrival, the Fisk VFR Arrival procedure in the Oshkosh. So yeah, river to La Crosse, and then I-90, I-94 to Portage. All the ATCs coming online now. Yeah, I would think they should be gearing up. What is it, 5 till 5? Yeah, so they had said that the event would start at 2100 Zulu time, and it's 2055 now. So we are definitely past the, what is that, Red Wing? Yeah, we're past Red Wing, so we can go ahead and truck it on up to 55 now. So let's see if I can remember how to make auto do this. 55. I don't have that much experience with this particular vertical speed, and then we can go vertical speed. Turn a little bit right. We'll add some power in because we're losing airspeed now. So add some mix back in, RPMs and power, so 25 and 25. very modest climb going. Bump the heading bug to the right. We don't have to follow every single bend in the river, but I definitely don't want to lose track of it, so it'd be nice to kind of keep it there in the crook of the window if I can. So maybe even want to come a little to the right of it, to the south bank. Note on Winona, 30 is right traffic. Yeah, we're not stopping there. Yeah, it is. You're correct. No, but the green dot is just that sky vector. Yeah, it's a right pattern to 30. That's just sky vector telling us that it's got weather observation there, METAR. So hover over it, and it's saying it. And the fact that it's green is that it's VMC, 10 statute miles scattered at 6,000. So that's what the green dot means. It's not a stop. You go under layers, you can turn text weather on and off, and those dots will disappear. But that's what I do at the beginning of the stream, kind of just see what the prevailing weather conditions are around. Just hover over it, you get your weather observations. You'll get the purple one down here. 10 statute miles and no sky conditions noted, so that's why it's purple. Let's see if we can find some bad ones here. Yeah, the blue one, 5 statute miles and thunderstorms and rain. Yeah, so the color just kind of gives you a general idea of the weather conditions. But that's not a stop. We're heading straight. This is non-stop service to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, guys. You can, so now, will it automatically level us at 55? Probably not. Pop it back into altitude hold mode. Bring the power back to 23 and 23, and at this point we can lean the mix nice and aggressively, get it to the point where it's just 20 degrees rich of our peak. So let's watch the EGTs. I'm slowly pulling the mix out here. They're going up, 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 up. Okay, so they're peaking just, well, okay, they're peaking almost 2 lines above the middle, and I'm just going to enrich it until it's just almost 1 line above the middle, so right there. So the different planes will tell you different optimal leaning parameters. In this plane, the reality expansion pack documentation suggests 20 degrees rich of peak. So you gotta watch your plane's manual and do what it says. But the way we go 20 degrees is it's 1 line. If you scooch over here, you can see where it says that the lines are. Come over a little farther and see that. So that the lines are 20 degrees per division. So don't need to know what the number is. You see whichever one it peaks, you go 1 line down from that. That's your 20 degrees rich of peak. So we'll put in a nice gentle heading adjustment to kind of keep the river ahead of us. Is it usually 20 degree instrument lines in all GA planes? I don't know. I don't fly enough different ones to know that. I would say that the better answer is all of the gauges will tell you if you look at them, if they're properly modeled. And keep in mind, Tango, I'm not a real world pilot. I'm basing all of this on what I've read in all the manuals. Yeah, I just scooted the view over. It's partially obscured here. I just scooted the view over and showed you that from a different angle where it does say right there on the gauge. And I imagine every gauge will have that. Maybe different numbers, but it should be on there somewhere. Pay attention, man. Teasing, you're fine. So the ATC is starting to assemble. Oh, I would say they are. Okay. We got Madison. We got Osh. Yeah, that's the Fisk Oshkosh Victor Approach. I wonder if that Victor stands for visual, or if that's just that. That could be because MSN that says E Approach. It says E Approach. That may just be a generic sector designation, but we got tower at Oshkosh. We got ground at Oshkosh. We got multiple towers at Oshkosh. We got a tower down here at Fond du Lac. Alright, down the river we go, guys. Let's get another update on where we are. First of all, let's take a spin to the engine gauge, just make sure. Should be about 23 and 23 there. Okay, and leaned out like we said. Everything's in the green, so we're good there. Still got plenty of fuel. So once we've aviated, let's navigate. Where are we? I'm gonna guess we've made this little bend because we're in a section of the river that goes fairly straight. So we may be at this point here that it's essentially a 150 heading that we're on. So I have kind of a feeling that we're into this section now. Fairly straight, that's coming down here past Buffalo City towards Winona. Should see the Winona Airport right on the riverbank to the right-hand side, so we'll take a peek out and look for that. We can tune in some of these nav aids. We can tune in the Nodine VOR, see how distant we are from that. We think we should probably be about maybe 20 miles from it. That would be a nice fallback and something that you certainly would want to do if you had any doubts as to where you were. But again, I always tend to fall back onto radio navigation, so I've been pushing myself, thanks to Melvin Leroy and Downwind Sim and the likes of those. Even LTRM Crew, who I haven't seen here in a while, but some folks like that who have been pushing me to step up my visual navigation game. We're going to do as much as we can without falling back on the radio nav stuff if we are able. So let's take a peek out the window, see if we can pick up this Winona Airport coming up on the right-hand side. I think we've flown in and out of Winona a couple times. At least once. That might be it right there. I'm going to guess that is it. That is Winona Airport, guys. I'm almost certain of it. And the river kind of bends to the left after passing it, and that is indeed what we're seeing. So progress seems to be well documented so far. Getting down to the point where the river's going to widen out, we're going to see this La Crosse Airport. We are at 5,500 feet, so we're going to be well above the top of that delta there. The delta goes up to 3,200 feet. So we got this dotted blue line indicating delta airspace. You would need to be talking to a controller in order to enter that with permission. However, it goes up to 3,200 feet, and we're at 55. So we will be above that airspace, which is perfectly fine. But essentially over that La Crosse Airport is where we're going to make this left turn here from following the river to following Interstate 90. So that will be an important waypoint in our journey. "787 Flyers on South Tower tonight. Nice. We will be talking to one of you guys real soon. I think our ETA, I had thought we were going to be in at about 5:45 Eastern. I think we got slightly delayed coming out of St. Paul just because I was yammering on about the briefing. So I think we're probably going to be closer to 6 Eastern time touching down. But yeah, man, we'll be listening out for you, bud. So clouds may bump us down a bit. Yeah, I was seeing in my my briefing that I was doing prior to stream going live that most of them were 6,000, few at 6,000. Of course, those are above ground level too. So if ground level's 700-800 feet, 900 feet through here, then these clouds should be above us. 10 statute miles from clear there. What's folks saying? Scattered at 5,500. So yeah, we may end up bumping down. Yeah, bumping down. Would be able to go to 35 safely? We need to worry about. Well, even at 35, we're above this class delta, which goes to 33. But at 35, yeah, would we be in danger of ground clearance issues? 2,300 there. 17, 25. Yeah, so we could bump down to 35 if we had to. Looks like. Hold on, where are we? Yeah, 35 if we had to, and then of course when we get up here, we're going to be following that Fisk Arrival procedure, which puts us at either 18 or 23. Tango, just working and watching. Okay, no problem. And I'm just bumping with you, man. It's all good. I would be surprised if I am able to hold anyone's full attention for this long. If you get lost, just buzz the town and look for the name on the water tower. Yeah, that's I don't know how well that's going to be modeled here. We got flat ortho images. When we get down there, we may not be able to read it. But yeah, we've actually discussed that in a previous stream about how the old barnstormers would use that as their visual navigation tools and why those even exist that way. It's not necessarily it's partially a PR name recognition thing for the town, but also very much to do with early visual navigation. Absolutely. Too high to read the road signs, right? That's okay. Melvin Lira knows our shortcut. We're good. Sorry, guys. I'm just buzzing through the phone, checking the work emails. It's been kind of a hectic day at work. Had to duck out early to get this flight on for you guys. Not that I didn't want to, but just making sure that I'm not leaving anything critical. Be over my home airport pretty shortly, says N-Wolfie5. N-Wolfie5, I don't believe I've seen you here on stream before. If I have, I apologize for forgetting, but I think that's a new handle. Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate you checking us out. We'll wave. Which airport are we talking about as your home airport? Think you've been along once? Okay. Well, good to see you back here. La Crosse. Okay, yeah, that's where we're making our turn. So we better know when we're over top of La Crosse. I may need to duck out of the cockpit for a quick trip to the little pilot's room before we do that, but I think that might be it right there, too. Okay, well, that's good, though. At least we know where we are. Alright, so I'm waving at you now, Wolfie. Can you see? Hold on. It'll be easier to see me wave if I do this. Oh, Kenny says, Wolfie, I know you. Alright, so what's the plan from La Crosse? Let's see if we can get ready to do this here. I was going to fly to Oshkosh today, but since I haven't before, I'll just sit on the ground and observe. Yeah, this is my first time trying it. I actually watched a gentleman on Twitch the other day, and I didn't catch it live, but I was able to watch it back. If you are familiar with fellow streamer Agent Bravo 7, she, one of the members of her community, and I think I've also seen him in Ground Point Niners stream a number of times. So I know him from a few different places, from Agent Bravo 7 and from Ground Point Niner, but he goes by Below Minimums, and he does a Twitch stream as well. And he flew this equivalent event on Pilot Edge just within the past couple days and posted, he streamed it live, so his video, his VOD is still up there and available. So I watched that, and having him kind of talk through it as he flew it really did help a lot as far as seeing the procedure unfold and kind of getting a sense. The biggest thing is like getting a sense for where these visual landmarks are. Yeah, and Wolfie says, I'll probably fly it tomorrow. Yeah, VATSIM's doing it today and tomorrow, which is good. Okay, so here's the town of La Crosse and La Crosse Airport, which we just kind of showed. I think we're essentially passing over it. And again, we're at 5,500. That delta goes up to whatever it was, 30-something. So we're okay. We're now going to catch the interstate eastbound on kind of a 084. And there is that interstate, so let's go ahead and make our turn here. Have we missed our window to run out and use the little pilot's room? We may have. I'm going to turn not quite around to the 08. I'm going to kind of I got to keep that highway out the left window slightly just to make it a little bit easier to see. Is this still the Pilot Edge when this is on VATSIM, Tango 99 Tango? So it's VATSIM is a free network that covers the globe. Pilot Edge is a paid network that covers the western United States. Pilot Edge has paid controllers that are guaranteed to be on during certain hours of the day. VATSIM has volunteer controllers that are on kind of whenever. But this is an organized event that's being put on by VATSIM, and so that's the network that we're flying it on. But it's obviously it's all based on the real world event, the EAA AirVenture in Oshkosh, which is obviously a very famous real world fly-in. So it's obviously it's going to be similar. They're both networks are attempting to replicate it as realistically as possible. So Captain Kransky is here. Welcome, Captain. My hat is off to you, sir. You can't see, but I'm saluting right now. Appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, so Tango 909, I hope that answered your question adequately. So there's that interstate. I'm gonna have to, you know what? It's not that much longer a flight, really. We'll make the bladder tough it out. I think we're gonna need to. Cool deal, Tango. Ask away. We're very, very open to questions here. And by the way, Tango 909er, if I didn't officially welcome you to the stream, you were one that I feel like I had seen you here before. But now I feel like I may be incorrect about that. Either way, either welcome back or welcome for the first time, whichever is applicable, sir. Sir or madam. Now I'm being presumptuous. I usually make a joke out of that, but more and more I find that we do have the occasional female flight sim enthusiast around here. Sir is applicable? Okay, I appreciate the confirmation on that. The more and more I joke about that, the more I find that we do have a female or two lurking. Baseball field. I love this ortho scenery, man. Bing level 16, for those of you who care, doesn't seem to have much of a frame rate hit. It didn't on my old system. My old system, I was much more sensitive to frame rate hits. But a Bing level 16 and the 1/3 arc second Ned mesh, my old system would run this stuff pretty well. And my old system, like I said, was a very borderline box. But yeah, it really turns visual navigation into a whole new ballgame on X-Plane. And of course, in a couple weeks, we might have a whole new ballgame for visual navigation coming to us. So we turned north at about 5:15. So we'll just keep that in mind for distance. Probably about another half hour, another 90 miles or so. Probably about another half hour up the interstates here. Only get to fly. I have been here. I was directed by someone else doing GA stuff. Gotcha. I only get to fly a few times a year because money and kids. So I get my fix on sims and on here. Yeah, well, you get to fly a few more times a year than I do for the very same reasons. Now that almost looks like an ortho tile border there, but this is still ortho scenery on this side. So perhaps just different lighting conditions on different passes. That's the one annoying thing about ortho, is that, you know, you're relying on, you know, Bing imagery or whatever imagery you're using, and not really intended to create a consistent virtual world with it. So sometimes it does not do such a good job of it. Okay, where that interstate comes in and kind of merges with the other one. I'm going to take a stab and say that that might be the east side here of La Crosse and Onalaska. And this is Sparta. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna need to duck out, guys. Since we got a little piece of straight road here, I'm gonna duck out to the little pilot's room. I'll be right back with you. But yeah, stay with us. Lots of cool flying left to do, and the controllers of the VATSIM Chicago ARTCC are definitely gearing up for us here. As you can see, more and more populate in as we go. So it's bound to be an exciting one. Stick around, guys. Grab another drink while you're out, and I will do the same. And we will be back with you for the exciting conclusion as we make our way up to Oshkosh, Bagosh. Sit tight. We'll be right back with you. Alright, who moved my highway? Back with you guys. Okay, I think I still do see it down there. I do need to be sure that at some point. Up ahead, I think we probably just got a little tile boundary issue there. I don't think that's a lake or a river or anything. The way it repeats like that, probably just a seam in the tiles here. So there's highway that goes off to the east and north, and then hopefully that's the interchange we're waiting on where 90 becomes 94. I think there was some point down here where we were going to need to make sure we stayed to the right because there was some restricted airspace. Let's see if we can pick this up on the map here. Ryan Videos is here. Ryan, how are you? Pleasure to have you aboard. So yeah, so it looks like, okay, so the restricted airspace was behind us at that point. At this point, if we are where we think we are, and we're picking up the kind of the 120. Well, hopefully that restricted airspace isn't active today. Alright, Tango's got to go. We'll catch up later if I can. Yeah, man, all of our old flights are on our YouTube channel. Lower left-hand corner of the screen is your link for that. So in case you can't catch it on Twitch, you can always catch it there. Okay, so up ahead looks like it might be Volk. Very straight off, like, yeah. Like if I'm coming around this bend here, and I get to a point where it's straight off ahead of me, if I had the chop and drop, I could do that. So I think that we're very reliably at that point, and then a little further up ahead we should see this Malston New Lisbon Airport, so we'll kind of keep an eye out for that. We got to follow this bend around to the right a little bit before we get all hyped up and looking for that. So this is our interstate that we're following now. Might be a little airport down near that brown patch. Well, we're still getting bounced around quite good, aren't we? Yeah, the airport might be a little past that maybe still. That's all right. We're very, very certain that that's Volk Air Force Base or whatever that is. And again, kind of like to stay to the right of the highway just to help keep it out the left window. Makes it a little easier to spot from the pilot side. So we shall do that. Malston. So this will be a nice, actually. So here's the Wisconsin River. That's what I had said earlier when I was referring to the St. Croix. Corrected myself on that. So here's the Wisconsin River. Once that comes in, and we're at Wisconsin Dells, where that kind of intercepts, you know what then? That might have been water feature that I was seeing up ahead. Okay. Good to know. So there is a pretty significant north to south water feature there. But up ahead, where that crosses the interstate that we're on, that will be a real good visual landmark to kind of cross-check that we are at Wisconsin Dells and 15 miles away from Portage. Once we are at Portage heading up toward Puckaway Lake, definitely going to want to make sure we start picking up the ATIS information and start tuning our way into the controller's frequencies for the Fisk Arrival, and also need to be descending into the appropriate altitude for that. And I had said we were going to try and do the 1800 feet and 90 knots. Steve PHL's got me nervous about that now. I may do the 2300 and 135. Again, the briefing package for the we're flying into the virtual version of Oshkosh EAA AirVenture, and so this is what you do: 90 knots and 1800 feet. If you can't do that, you can do 135 and 2300 feet. You make sure you follow somebody of a similar speed, and lights are on, which they are. Transponders on, which it is. Arrival ATIS 15 miles from Ripon, which if we're going to do that, yeah, Ripon's up here. So 15 miles from Ripon would be prior to Puckaway Lake. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll do our full briefing after we turn off at Portage and head up toward Puckaway. So we'll get that plenty of time. Monitor Fisk Approach, and then Fisk Approach will give you the tower frequency. And it's either the railroad tracks all the way up, or it's the railroad tracks to Fisk, and then the Fisk Avenue transition going eastbound. So that document's posted on our Facebook and Twitter pages, as well as on our Discord server. And if you're on the VATUSA event calendar or VATUSA forums, it's also on that page. That's where the Chicago ARTCC posted it. Okay, continuing to follow the interstate south and east. This is either 90 or 94 at this point. Probably I-94. I'm assuming the I-90 and I-94 interchange was the one that we passed there just prior to Volk. But at any rate, this is the highway. The heading is lining up with what's on our map, about a 130 at this point. So we're thinking that is this stretch here, probably passing over Mauston Airport now. Just take another peek and see if we can find it. Is that? I don't know. It might be. Is it a dirt strip? It's okay. We're pretty certain that we're more or less over top of it right now. And we do have a water feature that is now coming in to intercept us. So at that point where that water feature and the highway cross, that is Wisconsin Dells. The highway is going to take a little bit of a left-hand bend from essentially a 1.3-ish to essentially a 1.1 to a 1.2. And it won't be long before we are up over top of Portage. We should see this little airport as a clue. And then we duck out to the north and east. Man, this flight's progressing rather quickly. Which is probably a good thing, because we're starting to get fuel critical. I wouldn't say fuel critical. That's still a good couple hours of flying right there. We think it's about a half an hour in if we don't end up in a holding pattern. So that should be a good couple hours of fuel there. What's the event looking like? Oh, let's get a count. 22 arrivals, some of whom have not even departed yet. So I think we'll be fine. It doesn't seem like we're going to end up in a massive hold today. Redneck Love and Life is here. What's going on, man? Yeah, so the highway does kind of take a bend to the south But wait a minute. Am I expecting it to? Or am I following, am I looking at the wrong fork here? Let's look at that map again. Once we get to Wisconsin Dells. Okay, yeah, that highway ducks off to the south, but from Wisconsin Dells, I kind of want to follow the river eastbound, or even the railroad tracks eastbound to Portage. So the highway will veer off to the south here, but I want to transition to where I'm following that river. Any numerology buffs here? We got 094, 094. Minnesota rudders here. This is kind of fun hearing the names of places I know. Need to try this flight, but take off from KANE. So here's that river coming down. It's kind of hard to see where it goes from there. Okay, and then is that squiggle. Okay, so we want to kind of follow it up in that direction, it looks like. So that big left to right squiggle might be right here where it says Lake Delton, and then just to the right of that there's that big south and then east squiggle. I think that might be the squiggle that we're looking at here right below us. It's now passed under the nose and then follows out to the east where there's a little couple islands. So islands in the stream, that is what we are. That might be, well, there's a number of islands in the stream. Okay. But I think that's definitely what we want to follow here. And there's a other highway, maybe like a local highway, north of that. So we're kind of in the channel between two major roads. Does that line up with what we're seeing? Yeah, it does, kind of. So I think this is what we're seeing, guys. We got the squiggle in the water here, and then we got this fairly straight road and this fairly straight road. There should be a railroad track on this leftern one. Now I'm just making up words. Should be some railroad tracks there somewhere. So one of those might be railroad tracks. Alright, so we will turn. As soon as it kind of gets a little bit past us and ends up on our left-hand side, we'll make a gentle turn to follow it. And I think it's time, let's go ahead and start connecting in with the ATIS as soon as we get to this Portage Airport, which should be kind of coming within sight. We think, what, about 10 miles away at this point? So if we follow that river and look up to the left, there should be a north-south highway that there will be an interchange with. It looks like maybe, I don't quite see that, or, ooh, is it there? Is that Portage Airport right there? Might well be. Doesn't look quite well defined. There's a main runway and then a crossing runway. Yeah, it might be. That definitely is kind of a north and south major thoroughfare there. Ooh. That might be the airport there. Nope. Alright, well, whether or not we spot what we can definitively say is the airport, I feel like we're definitely close here. Let's get the heading bug spun around to kind of follow it. I mean, that's definitely going to be the town of Portage. Oh, there we are. That's definitely an airport there. Okay, so we're going to turn to the northeast. We're going to start looking for our Puckaway Lake, and we're going to start monitoring Fisk Approach. Let's get our ATIS. $25.9 is Oshkosh ATIS. Let's just go ahead and get that by voice this time. Normally I'll cheat and get that by text, but we'll get it by voice if the voice ATIS is working today. Sometimes it doesn't on VATSIM.
VFR aircraft departing runway 36 left to 36 right, monitor Oshkosh Tower frequency 118.9 for departure instructions. IFR aircraft contact clearance delivery frequency 119.05 for clearance and approval for engine start no earlier than 30 minutes prior to the estimated time of departure. Do not start taxi without approval. All tower frequencies are in use, some may not be visible on your pilot client. Advise you have information from Bravo. Oshkosh Tower information Bravo, time 2053, wind 310 at 14, gust 21, stability 10, sky conditions 6,500, temperature 272.13, altimeter 2988. Line 4 VOR approaches runway 27 in use. VFR arrival procedures are in effect. Runway 27, 36 left and 36 right are in use. Speeds 10 and 13 in the NOTAM. Monitor Oshkosh approach control frequency 120.7 for runway assignment and frequency. Oshkosh Tower will assign runway 36 left or 36 right. Departing runway 27, 36 left and 36 right. VFR departures follow the NOTAM to the runway. Do not contact ground control for taxi. VFR aircraft departing runway 27, monitor Oshkosh Tower frequency 128.75 for departure instructions. VFR aircraft departing runway 36 left to 36 right, monitor Oshkosh Tower frequency 118.9 for departure instructions. IFR aircraft contact clearance delivery frequency 119.05 for clearance and approval for engine start no earlier than 30 minutes prior to the estimated time of departure. Do not start taxi without approval. All tower frequencies are in use, some may not be visible on your pilot client. Advise you have information from Bravo.
All right, well, kind of glad we did that because it's one of the few times you hear a human-recorded ATIS on VATSIM.
Stability 10, sky conditions 6,500, temperature 272.13, altimeter 2988.
120.7 is Fisk Approach. Notice I put all that in the Notes tab, so I was really just typing to myself. Messages are over here. Notes to yourself are here. Information Bravo, 310 at 14, gusting 21. So yeah, the wind has shifted. It's kind of out of the northeast, so they're going to have us arriving on 36 left and 36 right. And 120.7 is the Fisk Approach. Alright, so we were going to pass Portage, and then we were going to turn north and east to about a 045. I went a little bit past that airport as I was listening to the ATIS, so now I'm turning a little bit more left of 045. I turned to about a 030. I would say that's definitely a lake up there. So we want to start descending, guys. We want to get down to we're gonna do the 1800 and 90 knots.
All aircraft about Oshkosh, landing runway 36 and 27, that's pages 10 and 13 of the NOTAM. Become familiar with these pages. On an aircraft similar type and speed, followed of a half mile on trail, no love runners, no side-by-sides, no turns. If you gotta do any of those things, it's not gonna work. Break off the approach. Go back to Ripon, follow an aircraft a half mile on trail, 1,800 feet, 90 knots, or 2,300 feet, 135 knots. Again, half mile on trail directly over the railroad tracks. Right or left of those railroad tracks, you won't be able to see due to the trees on the sight line there. Right over the railroad tracks, 1,800 feet, 90 knots, 135 knots, and 2,300 feet. What, no welcome to Oshkosh? Welcome to Oshkosh.
The dirty sturdy is here. Gonna fly right over the lake house. Welcome. I am looking forward to it, sir. Melvin says, okay, time for me to turn you down, start concentrating on the approach. Good luck. We'll see you on the ground. Do you know where you're parking? I'm going to turn off and park wherever is most convenient to wherever we end up landing, man. I'm not going to be fussy about it. Well, I'm getting excited. This is really cool. And if you've ever seen any videos of anybody doing these arrivals, what you're hearing on the VATSIM air traffic control frequency is very, very faithful to what they would do in the real world. So that's going to be our Puckaway Lake, and then just north and west, or north and east of that rather, would be Green Lake. That would be the bigger one that we've kind of got right in the windscreen there. Okay.
Looks like I got a high wing about a mile south of Fisk rocker wings. Looks to be white in color, Skyhawk, about a mile south of Fisk now. Rock your wings.
Remember, we're using the IDENT feature for rocking wings.
White Skyhawk, about a quarter mile south of Fisk rocker wings, 1,800 feet up there. White in color, Skyhawk, high wing. Half mile south of Fisk now. Here's the transmission IDENT.
Now, do I know where the IDENT button is on this transponder?
The white high wing directly over Fisk now, 1,800 feet, turning left. Steer the transmission, use the frequency. I'm rocking my wings. Roger. Continue along the railroad tracks northeastbound for right down 127. Contact correction monitor tower 118.5.
Oh, he's got the right downwind to 27.
Thank you.
If we get 27, we'll be on 18.5 also, so we'll prep for that just in case, but we may have to change that plan, 18.5. So we'll get it pre-dialed and ready to go. If I can't get it to IDENT...
Aircraft out of Oshkosh, information Bravo current, landing runway 3627, page 10 to 13 of the NOTAM. The approach starts from the city of Ripon and follows the railroad track northeastbound to the town of Fisk. You'll receive landing instructions over the town of Fisk. When you're instructed to rock your wings, please IDENT so we can see that on controller client here. And it's a beautiful morning, great day flying at Oshkosh.
Yep, so IDENT button on the transponder is here under the word Garmin. I will also have the pilot client up where I can see it. So the IDENT button should flash here. I'm hovering over it. You can't see my mouse. I'm hovering over it. That's what's flashing it right now. But we'll make sure that it flashes. But if it doesn't translate from the from the cockpit to the client, then we'll just hit it through the pilot client. But yeah, on VATSIM, the wing rocking happens too quickly for the server update rate to see it. So that's why they say instead of actually rocking the wings, just IDENT. So this has got to be Green Lake. This is huge. So this has got to be Green Lake. So that means we are going to join the railroad tracks north and east from Green Lake. Or no, railroad tracks north and east of Ripon. How do we get from Green Lake to Ripon? There's no railroad tracks. The the town is just north and east of the airport. All right, so we're coming up on 1800 now. We're going to level it out, and we're going to drop gear, and we're going to drop the speed. Ordinarily when you level out, you add power, not in this case. And I'm going to let auto manage the altitude holding and the heading holding. Ordinarily I'd hand fly this, but this is kind of one where you need to get it right, and I'm going to use the tools available to me. Okay, we'll go flaps 1 in gear now. Add some power back in. Speed continues to drop now to about 100. We're going to go ahead and get mix and props forward. And we'll use just the throttle then to get it down to 90 knots.
All aircraft inbound to Oshkosh, information Bravo current, landing runways 36 and 27, that's pages 10 and 13 of the NOTAM, become familiar with these pages. Found an aircraft of similar type and speed, followed by half mile on trail, no overrunners, no side-by-side, no turns, you gotta go to the things, it's not gonna work, break out the bridge, go back to Ripon, find an aircraft a half mile on trail, followed him. Directly over the railroad tracks, 1,800 feet, 90 knots, 2,303 feet, and 135 knots. Welcome to Oshkosh.
Airspeed slipping. Let's put some power back in it. There's 90. Alright, so we're over Green Lake. Doesn't seem like there's Rob says I don't think it translates. I don't know. Well, maybe because it's not that busy. Oh, come on now. My mouse is getting
Looks like I
laggy.
got a Cirrus type up high, 2300 rocker wings. Silver in color, Cirrus 2300 up high, rocker wings, miles south of Fisk now. Great rock, Cirrus, awesome job. Turn right, 090, followed east-west road, monitor Oshkosh Tower 126.6, welcome to Oshkosh.
Okay, so he got Fisk Avenue
Looks like I got
transition.
another maybe Cirrus type up high, 2300. Maybe actually Columbia, miles south of Fisk now, rocker wings. Columbia up there, up high, 2,300 feet, miles south of Fisk now, right behind.
Hubert
the Cirrus
Pham is
rocker
here.
wings.
Oh, the ident doesn't translate.
Here's the
Oh, so if I
transition
hit
frequency.
ident in the panel, it may not end
You
up
can
in
talk on
the
frequency. Columbia directly over Fisk now. Are you on
pilot
frequency?
client. I'll keep an eye on it, Rob. We'll, one way or another, we'll get an ident to him.
Columbia, if you're on the frequency, follow the railroad tracks northeastbound, please. Columbia, if you're on the frequency, directly over Fisk, follow the railroad tracks northeastbound. Inside the gravel pit for right down runway 27, monitor Oshkosh Tower 118.5. There you go, I get your rock now. Thank you so much, Columbia. Up there, follow the railroad tracks northeastbound. Inside the gravel pit right down with T7, monitor Tower 118.5. Welcome to Oshkosh.
So we're going to need to pull the power back, and then we're about 10 knots fast here. With the gusting winds, it's going to be real critical that we stay on top of this power management. So it sounds like they're alternating is what they're doing. One to 27, one to the railroad tracks, one to Fisk Avenue. So Melvin, it sounds like we're going to end up parked in two different spots. It might be time for the final sip of Red Bull. Before we get our hands real full here. Alright, so from Green Lake to Ripon should be on about a 060, which we are. Okay, so things are lining up. Looks like there's our town. Oh, we got some traffic up ahead too. So there's their town of Ripon and the plant, and should be able to see the beginning of the railroad tracks there, kind of over on the left-hand side. Joey Steele's here. How are you, says Joey. Yeah, we're about to get our hands full. We're flying the famous Fisk VFR Arrival into Oshkosh for the EAA AirVenture, or what we call VATVenture on the VATSIM network. And we're just coming up. We've just passed Green Lake. We're coming up on the town of Ripon, and we're waiting for Fisk Approach to give us the call. And man, it's about to get exciting. And I'm nervous. Bobcat's here. Hey, Bobcat, haven't seen you in a little bit. Hope you've been well, man. So we're following that. We got somebody else coming in from our right.
Hello, Griff, about Oshkosh. Fisk Approach information.
Got a couple of them.
Approach starts at the city of Ripon. You'll follow the center railroad tracks northeast bound to the town of Fisk. Over the town of Fisk, you'll see approach instructions from me to either turn right, follow east-west road for left base runway 36, or continue straight ahead on the railroad tracks for a downwind for runway 27. Information Bravo is current. Oshkosh landing runway 36 and 27. Those pages 10 and 13 in the NOTAM. Become familiar with these pages.
Why are you nervous? It's not your first flight. Well, it's my first flight into Oshkosh. And looks like there is a decent amount of traffic now coming in from the right to join this thing. And it's going to be hectic, and I'm going to have to really be on my game. So here's where we're trying to pick up railroad tracks, and that looks like a highway, and the caution is make sure you're over the tracks and not the highway. So here's the tracks kind of here on the left, heading up towards this little plant here. So I got to make sure I'm going to adjust the heading a little bit to the left. Make sure we're directly over these tracks. And Kat is going to choose this moment to start rubbing up against my ankles. All right, well, you're fine. You can do that for now because I'm still letting the auto handle the heading and the altitude. Aviation Brad, yeah, we're using some binoculars. Welcome back, Aviation Brad. Appreciate you being here. Alright, so we're over the railroad tracks. We're at Ripon, headed up toward Fisk.
You're grabbing about Oshkosh. Make sure you're following those railroad tracks directly over your nose. If you're right up to those railroad tracks, you won't be able to see it here in our little shack with binoculars. We'll walk by the trees here, and that's going to get real interesting. Make sure right over those railroad tracks. Not along the road, not left of the road, not right of the road, over the railroad tracks, right on top. 1,800 feet, 90 knots.
I feel like
300 feet, 135 knots. Again, Oshkosh landing, runways 36 and 2.
I feel like he's talking to me.
13 to the NOTAM. Find an aircraft similar type of speed, followed by half-mile trail.
288.
If you got to do any of those things, it's not going to work. Break out the approach, go back to Ripon and follow an aircraft half-mile trail.
Yeah, 288. So let's get it back to there. Alright, so I think we're good. I think this is now the railroad tracks to the plant. I think we're good. But I was just saying, I think I'm drifting right to the railroad tracks when you heard the Fisk controller come on and give us that reminder. So I may be wrong, but that felt like it was prompted by me. 30 sturdy says, yeah, over the road. Yeah, we got it fixed now. We got it fixed. We got it fixed to go to Fisk.
Looks like I got a Cirrus type here coming up miles south of Fisk now. Green and white color rocker wing. Cirrus, 1,800 feet. Green and white color. There you go. Great rock, Cirrus. Awesome job. Turn right. Follow the east-west road heading 090. East-west road for left base 36.
We got a decent,
Oshkosh Tower 126.6.
we got a decent amount of traffic up there, guys.
Looks like I got a water buffalo. Turn left. You break up approach. Water buffalo. Yeah, Roger. We were overtaken. We're going to meet the Rush Lake. Roger.
Yeah, we gotta slow it down. Get it back down to 90. Advise when you have a fix on. You did that to me on purpose, Kenny. God damn it.
Aircraft about Oshkosh. When you receive the approach instructions over Fisk, you'll be told to rock your wings. Make sure you hit that IDENT button for us to be able to see you. You're on the controller client again. If you're instructed to rock your wings, make sure you hit that IDENT button so we're able to see you. Make sure your transponder is turned on as well so we're able to see that IDENT again. And right over the railroad tracks, please, so we can see our directly over the railroad tracks. Not on the right of course, not left of course, directly over half-mile trail.
Alright guys, here's where it's about to get really interesting. This should be our next call, I would think.
Looks like I got a Mooney approaching here, miles south of Fisk, rock your wings. Mooney, 1,800 feet, miles south of Fisk now. 1,800 feet, rock your wings. Great rock, sir, Mooney. Awesome job on the Mooney there. Continue to follow the railroad tracks, northeastbound inside the gravel pit for right now on runway 27. Monitor Oshkosh Tower 118.5.
There's a Mooney.
Good afternoon.
There's a Mooney somewhere up ahead of me that I didn't see. It's okay. We'll continue to follow these railroad tracks.
All aircraft about Oshkosh. Oshkosh formation Bravo current. Oshkosh landing runways 36 and 27. That's pages 10 and 13 to the NOTAM. Become promoted these pages. The approach starts from the city of Ripon,
and Wolfie says, even though this isn't anywhere near as busy as the real thing, the hustle and bustle of the radio makes me miss Oshkosh so much this year. Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job putting out the right atmosphere, aren't they? They've definitely got me antsy.
Break up the approach, go back to Ripon, and follow an aircraft to half-mile trail.
We got Dub Aviator with us. Dub Aviator saying howdy. Yeah, it's about to get real busy in the cockpit here. I don't know how attentive I'll be to your messages, but I do appreciate you jumping in and checking us out today.
A twin Baron, maybe 1,800 feet, rock your wings, miles south of this now. Red and white Baron, 1,800 feet, twin, rock your wings.
That'll be me.
Great rock, Baron. Awesome job. You can turn right, heading 090. Turn right, follow the east-west road there for left base, runway 36. Correction monitor, tower 126.6, Baron. Welcome to Oshkosh.
26.6. Let's watch the speed, make sure it doesn't dip.
Runway 36 left. Mooney, is that you? Roger, I got an unidentified aircraft who's proceeding up runway 36 left, Oshkosh Tower. You on the frequency? Mooney, you can keep coming it in, okay?
So there's Fisk Avenue. We're turned a little short of it.
Mooney, stand by. I got an aircraft just coming over the field.
Did the ident work? A good question, Rob. I did it right through XPilot, so I don't know whether it would have worked on the panel or not.
Come on, wait, Mooney, come into the main state now, rock your wings.
All right, guys, here we go.
White Mooney, great job. Right turn, please. You're going to come directly to the numbers for runway 36 left. Directly to the numbers, runway 36 left. Right turn, please. There you go.
If we get another ident, I will try it with the panel.
Sirius on 36 left, what do you want me?
Sirius left on the ground, show for the show.
Left over the ground, thanks.
On the Mooney, you're going to have to keep the speed up. I got someone behind you. Thank you. Welcome to Oshkosh.
All right, so here's Fisk Avenue. Here's the road that we're supposed to be following. I'm gonna start descending. All right, my airplane, guys.
Come over the interstate now. Rock your wings.
All right, we'll hit ident over here. Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't, Rob.
Good job, running white Baron. Do you have a runway preference today?
Whatever's best for you, sir.
Alright, Baron Roger, you're going to keep the speed up, please. You're clear to land 36 right at or after the green square. That's Oshkosh.
Alright, 36 right at or after the green square.
So look today, Oshkosh, I'll put a 2988. It's page 13 of the note, runway 36.
Alright.
When you just that landed, you can make a left turn to the grass or high speed to taxi to the end, your choice on the show.
Let's make a nice tight turn without stalling. Get the second notch of flaps down. Flaps are set in check. Ears green. We are clear to land at or after the green dot. Or green square, rather.
And white sets, coming over to the interstate now, Rocky Wings.
Overshot.
Good rock, white sets, nice. Yeah, you're going to be runway 36 left today, at or after the purple dot. You're following a Baron T short final for the right side.
Oh, there's the green square. At or after, so that's fine. I'm I'm okay.
Appreciate Oshkosh, Alpha, 2988. It's page 13 of the NOTAM.
Oh,
And Baron, high speed taxi all the way to the end. Please, Baron, keep the speed up, high speed all the way to the end. Welcome to Oshkosh.
393. Yeah, that was rough, guys. I knew it would be. That's okay. We didn't break anything as far as I know. Still the flaps. And this is actually Taxiway Alpha in the real world. Oshkosh weekend, it's 36 right.
Got a yellow, black water bomber who just passed the interstate Rocky Wings. Good rock, I see it. It's going to be runway 36 right for you today to return to make that turn out at or after the green square. 36 right for the land after the green square. White sets, now let's turn the grass over the show.
That is Alpha 1 and Alpha. That may be Melvin Leroy up there. Tower, where's the red and white Baron going from here?
Aircraft calling, say again?
Red and white Baron, Alpha, Alpha 1. Where are we going from here?
Red and white Baron, taxi, your discretion, follow the NOTAM.
We'll go. Well, it pretty much said pull off into the grass and taxi at your discretion, so.
And the highway just off 36 right, high speed taxi all the way to the end, please. All the way to the end. Welcome to Oshkosh.
Three six right to parking. High speed taxi to the end. Left on the runway 31. Okay, so we missed that.
Good afternoon, Legacy Strike.
left onto runway
27.
23, then left onto
Orange
Papa.
and green light is see over the interstate rocket wing.
Green and orange, Legacy.
Green orange light is see, thank you, runway 36 left, clear to land, at or after the purple dot.
36 cleared for the landing, say again.
36 left, at or after the purple dot.
36 at or after the purple dot.
So 2 parking. High-speed taxi to the end, left on 31, left on 23, left onto Papa. So where's Papa? Okay, that's kind of where this runway more or less ends. And then right into the grass and taxi to parking.
Aircraft calling for 27, you should be out with North Tower.
Okay, and where's our ground control? 32.3. So left on Papa and 32.3. Another arrival coming in on the 36s. Yeah, we'll definitely camp out here and watch some of the arrivals, guys. Of course, most of these are static, but it's part of the modeling. And it's our friend of the stream, LPNils, that actually created this scenery package. So hats off to him. He really did a nice job creating the atmosphere of AirVenture here. That probably came a little too far. I'm not sure if the cones are in between the spots or if you're supposed to put the nose wheel on the cone or what you're supposed to do there. I'm sure they want us as close as we can get to the aircraft next to us, so there we go. Alright, parking brake on. I didn't get the lights reset. Landing lights off, strobe light off, pitot heat off. Would do the taxi light on, but we're already parked here, so let's get the mix leaned out. Yeah, it's amazing looking scenery from Dub Aviator. Yeah, our friend LPNils, he does a lot of the modeling for our Bush League flights. Parisian Max joined us. Joey said, spilt my coffee a bit of a roughie, but all good. Southwest 88, he says, nice job. Kenny said 304, and 393 was the answer. Yeah, no, it was one of my rougher touchdowns. I need to do some patterns. Yeah, this aircraft does not handle at low speed like the Laminar one does, and I haven't gotten enough practice in it yet. So, again, may sound like I'm making excuses, but the answer is I need to do some practice. But today it was just more like get it right rather than get it nice and soft. Let's pop over. I think 18.5 was the arrival stream for 27, so let's pop over and listen into that. We got somebody on making his nice tight short final. Again, he's rendering as an Airbus. I'm almost certain that is a GA aircraft of some type that's just rendering as an Airbus. Yeah, that's coming in slow enough that it's got to be a GA aircraft of some sort. Yeah, and he should taxi off to the right and find some parking.
Runway diamond, exit a runway to the right, on the grass, taxi approach about NOTAM, have a good day, thanks.
Red and white diamond might well have been Melvin Leroy.
Red ride service going around.
Red and white steer is by westbound completely. Expect to stand by for crosswind turn.
Roger, westbound.
Alright. Yeah, Melvin Leroy, I would say find any parking over on the right-hand side, and hopefully your flight went as successfully as mine. That was a lot of fun. Alright, very cool. Tell you what, let's go ahead and shut the airplane down.
Sky Blue Cessna, Oshkosh Tower, roger wings.
Got a Sky Blue Cessna coming in from the left.
Red and white Cessna.
Don't see him.
Red and white serious traffic, 1 o'clock on the railroad arrival. It's a Sky Blue Cessna. All that traffic had no greater than half a mile.
Alright guys, let's go ahead and get the airplane shut down. Finish the arrival checklist. We can turn the approach view off.
That's for red and white serious.
Red and white service, we're following the traffic.
We did we stow the flaps? Yeah, I think we did that. Throttle set to 1,000, mix set. Got the lights and pitot heat set. Parking brake, taxi light. Transponder is 1200. We can go ahead and turn it into off mode. So there we go. And we'll reset the trim. Yeah, a bit of a rough hit, but very narrow runway, which is ordinarily a taxiway.
Sky Blue Cessna Tower. Start your downwind, clear to land orange, crushing green dot, clear land
Let's
green
do
dot.
our mag check. All right, mag on the left side does kill power. Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and close the throttles.
Sky Blue Cessna,
Cut off
downwind,
mix.
start your descent, clear land green dot. Thank you.
Ooh, somebody on a high-speed move there.
Black and yellow diamond, Oshkosh Tower, rocker wings.
Got somebody on the yeah, right downwind. All right, prop levers down. Magnetos can come off for real this time. Nope, not starting. And we'll go ahead and pop the doors for you guys. There you go. You guys can pile on out. Not too bad, right? Oh, did I leave the beacon light on? Oh, I
begin your descent, clear to land, orange dot, clear land, orange dot.
didn't finish up the checklist here. Fuel selectors can go to off. We'll check how we did with the fuel
Black
ETA
and yellow diamond, rocker wings.
in just a moment here. Fuel selectors, cow flaps can go closed. Panel nav and beacon lights off. Alternators can go off. We're going to go ahead and leave. This is going to kill the battery. I'm going to have to pay to recharge it. But we're going to leave the avionics and the battery on just for a little bit so we can listen to the
Legacy Tower.
listen to the tower communications. That's fine.
Green orange, Legacy standby. Sky Blue Cessna exit right onto the grass immediately. Follow taxi via NOTAM. Have a good day.
Up, sunk into the runway a little bit of a scenery discrepancy there. Not too bad. Yep, very cool, very cool.
Green orange, Legacy, cross 27 on Alpha, and have a good day. Sky Blue Cessna taxi parking by the NOTAMs, well to the Oshkosh.
You got the crossing.
Black and yellow diamond, are you on frequency?
Turn off to the right. Who do we have?
Red and white Sirius, welcome to Oshkosh, taxi parking by NOTAMs, have a good day.
Another arrival down here. Yeah, he's probably doing the same thing I did, which was, there's a runway here. Am I supposed to go somewhere? Yeah, so left there, left here, left there, and then kind of where we wound up here. So.
Black and yellow, diamond, Oshkosh Tower, turn base, start your descent, clear to land, orange dot.
Can we see that diamond? Where's that diamond? I'm looking for him, guys. I want to
yellow diamond, you're clear to land, orange dot.
want to see a couple of the arrivals here. All right, guys. Melvin said, I ended up contacting the wrong tower and did go around and then figured out.
On the railroad transition, rocker wings for me.
Yeah, very, very busy. But these guys, these VATSIM controllers did a nice job, I thought, creating the atmosphere. And yes, as the I forget who it was that pointed it out, not nearly as busy as the actual Oshkosh. They're not doing bad. Like I said, I think they did it early in the afternoon on a Monday to kind of weed out some of the folks that might not be as serious about it. But they're doing pretty good with numbers here. We got 33 scheduled arrivals now at this point. Got a handful of us that are already on the ground. So, yeah, so not doing too bad. And the procedure of it and the atmosphere of it, they've done a really nice job creating or recreating or simulating, shall I say. So let's watch a couple more. If we can catch sight of a couple more as they make their way in, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. All right. Well, thanks, guys. It was great fun. Kind of a little bit of a shorter stream. I'm not going to turn around and do a fly back out today. Go ahead and get upstairs and get dinner on for the fam. But yeah, thanks guys for tagging along, and appreciate you being here. It went fairly well. I felt like the VFR navigation went pretty well. We didn't have any issues finding any of our visual waypoints. I didn't have to fall back on radio navigation at all. And aside from the landing itself, like I said, I do need to just get the finesse down of this new bearing, the one I'm not quite used to, the Coronado bearing with REP. Oh, we got one on final and one kind of on downwind. We got one.
Extend that downwind. There's traffic, one on final. You're number 2 behind. You turn base afterwards. Start descent when able. Clear to land. Orange dot.
Agent B7 looks like I'm late. Yeah, we made it down. It'll be a good one to watch back, though. The visual navigation plan, like I said, coming down the river and then across the interstate, did work out pretty well. I did feel pretty confident throughout the flight that I was where I intended to be and wanted to be. Didn't have any issues getting lost. And then the Fisk Arrival procedure, we did have to kind of finagle ourselves a little bit to make sure we were over the tracks. But that was not as much a question of was I seeing it properly as a question of we got 2 here, and then we got one kind of high coming in. So yeah, it was really a matter of paying attention to the heading. But yeah, procedurally it worked out pretty well. Pressing IDENT on the panel did not seem to translate to the pilot client, so we were having to press IDENT through the pilot client directly to get those simulated wing rocks visible. But other than that, everything went fine. We'll watch these last 2 get in, and then we'll head on out. But yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping in and checking us out with it. I was pleased. For my first one, it worked out pretty well. I would love to just have that landing back, but other than that, it went pretty well. Who's that popping in? And Wolfie hit the follow button. Yeah, we're generally on Mondays and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously, a little bit different today.
Black and yellow diamond, thanks. Welcome to Oshkosh, Taxiway Alpha, NOTAM,
So yeah, it went fairly well. Mondays and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern time is the usual schedule. We've got the full schedule. If you scroll down below the picture and hit the About tab, you got the full schedule posted up there. We've also have it posted on our Facebook page and our Discord server. And links to both of those, as well as to our Twitter page, are there at the bottom of your screen. On the lower left-hand side, you've got the You got the YouTube channel, which has all of our old broadcasts, as well as a handful of tutorials. The one thing I did not go over is the ending fuel and time. We expected to be down at 5:47 on the ground at 5:52. I think we're a little bit beyond that, about 15 minutes beyond that because we were delayed departing, but then another 15 minutes or so just because of the arrival procedure. So the timing didn't work out perfectly. We expect to have 188 pounds left in the fuel tanks. Let's see, we're probably going to be a little bit short there. I bet you it's more like 120, 130. 150, we'll split the difference. So yeah, one of the tutorials is a guide to how I do those flight time and fuel estimates. And most of the time, if they don't work out well, there's generally a good reason for it. We got anybody else in the downwind we can watch? Oops, somebody's repositioned. Boom, there they are. But yeah, no, it went really well. And like I said, if I could just have that landing back to reflare it, then I would be totally happy with it. But I'm not totally displeased with how things went. All right, guys. So yeah, Mondays and Fridays 8 p.m. Eastern is the normal schedule. On Friday, we're back at our normal time of 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is midnight Zulu on the day ahead. And it's another really cool event that we're doing on Friday with the Virtual USA Flying Club. We're going back to Bayport. Bayport Aerodrome is that tiny little grass strip that's tucked underneath the Class Charlie airspace of the Islip, Long Island MacArthur Airport, and it's got a really interesting arrival and departure procedure that's pretty specific because of that, because it's such a tiny little notch cut out of the Charlie that you have to stay in. And we did an event with the Virtual USA Flying Club a couple months ago at this point. So we're going to head back there. We're going to depart from Orange County. And the really cool part is we're going to go right down the Hudson River and the New York Skyline route and then cut over east up the coast of Long Island to get to Bayport. So we've got two in one, kind of. Two really awesome adventures, one being the Skyline route and the second being that arrival into Bayport, scheduled for that flight on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We were going to visit Bayport for the Antique Aircraft Club of Greater New York. They do an annual fly-in there at Bayport, and we were going to visit that in August, but that has now been scrubbed due to the global health situation. So we will put that on our calendar for next August. That means that the show on August 14th, which was originally going to be canceled, we'll put something back in on that slot. I'll update the schedule for you here within the next couple of days. We'll put a show back in on that schedule. But that's the next one coming up on Friday, and then right after that, the day after that, this coming Saturday, August 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we're adding a special show as well. That's going to be 1900 Zulu time. The normal schedule for the Bush League Mondays, which is the first Monday of the month, we're going to do that on Saturday afternoon this time for the August event. And the reason is we've got a bunch of different developers, at least 6, maybe more developers that are providing different sceneries for what we're calling the Bush Potluck. They're all going to be in the Helena National Forest area of Montana. And we've got a giveaway from Vertical Sim scenery developer that's a part of that, and like I said, a bunch of different developers that have contributed designs that we're going to fly in and out of on Saturday at 3 p.m. And the reason is that some of those folks are from as far away as New Zealand, and we want to do it at the time that they're able to actually watch and enjoy our streams of us going in and out of their creations. So that's Saturday the 1st. And then Monday at 8 p.m. we're back on our normal schedule. Since that would be Bush League, that's where we'll do an extra edition of Douglas Overseas, where we're flying our DC-3 up from the eastern U.S., up and over the North Atlantic, and into northern UK, and then down towards the Mediterranean. So we'll do that extra episode on Monday. We're about to leave from eastern Greenland and head over to Reykjavik, Iceland. So that'll be a week from today, back on our normal schedule of 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, guys, I think I've given you all the information that you need for now. It doesn't sound like we've got anybody else arriving in on 27 at the moment. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it a day. Let's pan the view around to see if we can spot anybody on final for the 3.6s. Doesn't look like it. We got a little bit of a lull in the action, so I guess maybe it's a good time as any to go ahead and wrap up for the day. And thank you again for joining. Old friends and followers that were able to make it, we appreciate you being here. If you were new to the stream, we hope that you'll stop in and see us again. And we got that follow just then from BNYS Web. I don't know how you want me to say that. Bonus Web? I guess that's bonus web. But thank you so much for being here. Hope that you'll see us again. If you want to watch this one back, it'll be on Twitch for a week or two, and then all of our old broadcasts end up on our YouTube channel where you can check that out. All right, guys, thanks again. We'll be back with you on Friday, but in the meantime, have a great rest of your week. Stay healthy, stay safe in your own travels and your own adventures, and we'll talk to you then.
November 113 Alpha Charlie Oshkosh Tower, say intentions. You're south of the field about 3 miles on the downwind for 27. Can you confirm? Okay, 3 Alpha Charlie, just so you know, you should have been on the Fisk Arrival. You should have been with Fisk